Hey there, y'all. This is Alex J again for MusicMastermind.tv. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of a good preamp. What kind of preamps are there? Do transformers really matter? Are the hefty price tags worth it? Stick with me and we'll answer all of these questions and more. I'll also provide you with a list of my recommended preamps in different price ranges, from super cheap to savage. So we know the secret of an amazing recording is a combination of a good microphone, placement, a preamp, and obviously the room. The preamp's job is to take an audio signal, whether from an instrument or microphone, and give that signal its sonic shape and definition before the signal is amplified for further audio processing or output through speakers, headphones, or other audio gear. Preamps add a lot of character, warmth, and dimension to your recordings. It's important to know the different kinds of preamps that are out there. Tube preamps include valves or vacuum tubes, or technically known as thermionic tubes, to create gain. Most tube amps will color your sound a lot. Tube preamps are known for adding deep bass, open and airy highs, and a warm presence in the mid-range frequencies. Often, tube preamps are described as warm or fat sounding. Here's why. As the signal level increases, the tube produces distortion, which in turn produces a deep and warm sound. Since the distortion is produced gradually and in measured amounts, it sounds really good to our ears. This distortion takes the form of second or even order harmonics, which is how we interpret it to be more musical. And here's why. Going back to our deconstructing sound video inside the Advanced Recording Techniques module inside MusicMastermind.tv, we can remember that harmonics are pitches of a fundamental tone that sound at whole number multiples of the fundamental frequency. Musically speaking, the second order harmonic forms the interval of a perfect octave. This octave reinforces the fundamental tone, similar to the effect we know as doubling. That's why the word fat or beefy comes into play, since octave doubling results in even broader sounds with more depth. Even order harmonics produce pleasing distortion, much like power chords in a guitar, since they don't produce any dissonant intermodulation caused by odd order harmonics. The addition of even order distortion via tubes equals color. This effect is often referred to as harmonic distortion. Tube preamps also provide color through the natural compression characteristics provided by the tube circuit designs. Looking at waveforms, the curve at the top of the wave becomes more compressed as gain is applied gradually, or when the tube is overdriven. The human ear hears this natural compression as pleasing. Natural tube compression can be a subtle effect, but it is considered the audio glue that brings everything together. Another natural function of vacuum tubes is to act as low-pass filters, which smoothes out the distortion in the high end of the spectrum and can somewhat reduce high-frequency content. This can be desirable or undesirable depending on your sonic goals. For example, it's desirable for warmer vocals and undesirable for drums or percussion, where the attack information is essential. Now, let's talk about solid-state preamps. The development of transistors to achieve gain has been the basis for the creation of solid-state preamps. Transistors are more efficient in this regard, creating gain with less heat than the tubes. Transistors operate more consistently as gain increases, maintaining very low distortion up to their maximum levels, beyond which they exhibit extreme distortion or clipping. They perform optimally and with minimal distortion at high levels of gain. The transparency of solid-state devices is largely due to their capacity of accepting significantly higher gain levels without distorting. There's also digital preamps. Digital preamps convert an analog signal to a digital signal, infusing their sonic signature in the processing before the signal is sent to a DAW. This allows the user to process their signal with a dedicated preamp and bypass the built-in process of conversion supplied by the audio interface's typically inferior converters. Some digital preamps offer a digital output sound card that can be installed in the user's computer. Others have the processing and conversion built into the preamp itself. Typically, these preamps could be considered digital interfaces as they efficiently convert an analog signal to a digital signal for the DAW. But the units are designed mainly as preamps, and the digital conversion of the audio signal is just a convenient byproduct of the primary preamp function. Now let's talk about transformers and their effect on the preamp sound. One of the main factors that determines color versus transparency in preamps lies in the use of transformers. Engineers and audiophiles alike are split between the use of transformer-based circuitry to provide color and transformerless circuitry that delivers the purest, most transparent signal. As part of a signal path, a transformer will always add some level of color to the signal. Reducing the number of active colorful components in a signal path is arguably the way to achieve more audio transparency. Most often you'll find preamps without transformers to be in the solid-state variety. Transformerless tube preamps exist, like the Millenia M2-b, but are much harder to find and tend to be really expensive due to the difficulty in building them. A transformer is an electrical device that allows an AC input signal like audio to produce a related alternating current output signal without the input and output being physically connected together. This is accomplished by having two or more coils of insulated wire around a magnetic metal core. An expensive transformer will have a flatter and broader frequency response. Often, a hotter input signal can be put through an expensive transformer without saturating it. Expensive transformers are also shielded better. Shielding reduces pickup of hum and interference from outside sources such as power supplies. Not only does the shielding keep unwanted signals out of the transformer, but it also keeps the desired signal within the transformer. Many inexpensive transformers have no shielding, while the expensive ones have multiple shields. As far as its limitations, by design, audio transformers only pass audio signals. Therefore, an audio transformer will reduce or block signals that are below or above the audio range of 20 to 20,000 Hz. This can be a limitation or a benefit depending on the situation. A second limitation is that audio transformers have a maximum input level that cannot be exceeded without causing a distorted signal. When the maximum level is exceeded, the transformer is said to be saturated and it cannot hold any more signal. A third limitation is that audio transformers cannot step up any signal by more than 25 dB when used in typical audio circuits. Because of this limitation, an audio transformer normally cannot be substituted for a microphone preamp. If more than 25 dB of gain is required, an active preamplifier must be used instead of a transformer. So, after knowing all of this stuff, you might be asking yourself, which preamp is right for me? Ultimately, choosing the right preamp boils down to the decision of what you want the preamp to do for you. So if you're mainly looking to add warmth or body to a vocal, you should consider a tube preamp that can add some beef to your sound. Some really amazing and affordable options are the PreSonus TubePreV2 and the ART Pro MPA2. If you have a bigger budget and you want a state-of-the-art preamp, there's a lot of amazing options. Some of my favorites include the PreSonus ADL600, the Universal Audio Solo 610, or the Chandler Limited Red 47. If you're looking to get an intense clarity in the sound and high dynamic range, that's more on the solid-state side. I definitely recommend the Focusrite ISA 1 if you're on a tighter budget, but you're still looking for that world-class studio sound. And higher-end options include my favorite, which is SSL, which you can get the SSL Alpha channel, or the Brent Averill 1073 preamp EQ combo. If you're seriously looking into carving state-of-the-art vocals, you should look into investing into a channel strip, since it will include a lot of the tools that you need in a convenient package that will save you time and money in the long run, even though they're really expensive. There's also the channel count factor. I would say always start with a 2-channel form factor solid-state preamp. That way you're not limited to only one channel of recording in case you want to record anything stereo like acoustic guitars, keyboards, or analog drum machines, providing the best bang for your buck. As you start getting more experience and you're looking into developing your own sound, you can add more preamps to your arsenal for different purposes and tone shaping. The logical second step will be to purchase a high-end channel strip for vocals. If you're a drummer, like me, you're going to need several channels of preamp. So focus on getting good quality preamps that won't break your bank at the beginning because you'll need several of them. Some of my favorite options include the Focusrite Searlett OctoPre dynamic mic preamp and the PreSonus Digimax D8, which was actually my first preamp I ever bought. So make sure they're not too pre's and they're a little slower in catching fast transients normally associated with drums and percussion. Ultimately, your purpose, your ears, and your budget should be the guide, so always keep them in mind. That's it for now. Give us a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Visit us on the web at www.musicmastermind.tv and create your free membership to gain access to this and many more incredible videos regarding advanced recording, mixing, and music production practices happening right here inside the professional high-end studio environment. There's a lot of really amazing content that you won't see anywhere else. That's it for now. I'll see you very soon. Alex J here, over and out.